Hi, my name is Sham. We just recorded 3 minutes of no sound because I turned off the microphones. My name is Sham, like Sham and Sham, and this is...
Hi, I'm Allie. I'm here again.
Allie is here again, and I say again, we recorded the last podcast 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
We're here in Green Square in Komaya, where you can have conversations and learn grammar and learn business English and learn travel English and all that stuff. So come down and learn English. Today we're going to talk about something else.
Yes.
Allie, what should we talk about?
I think we should talk about books. Yeah.
Books!
I'm going to talk about... So me and my friends are doing a book club right now where we take a book we've read and recommend it to each other. There's 3 of us, including me, that's doing this. And I got to pick the book for last month, which was...
Wait, let me guess what the book is.
Yes, yeah.
Was it Project Hail Mary?
Wow, how did you know? It's totally not like we just recorded this 3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just shows I was listening.
Hey, I appreciate that.
You guys weren't listening because I didn't turn on the microphones.
Yeah. It's a science fiction book about a man. I guess I can say his name. His name is Ryland Grace.
His name is Ryland Grace.
Yeah, that's definitely like the first name. That's definitely that's a name I haven't heard before. So even in America. So yeah, he's out in space and he doesn't remember anything. Yes.
So Ryland Grace in space.
Yeah, I guess it rhymes.
Is he being chased?
No.
Does he have a face?
Yes. He's a human being.
Does he have a briefcase?
No. Yeah. That's
Does
rhyming.
he still have his sense of taste?
Yes. Yeah. This is rhyming. Yeah, how fun.
Does he have a mace?
No.
Does he have any mace? Like the spray?
No, he does not. No,
Okay.
He's in space.
But does he live life at his own pace?
No, because he's currently trying to save the world.
Oh, so he's living life. So it's Ryland Grace in space, living life at someone else's pace because he's trying to save the world from space. Not carrying a briefcase, but he has a face.
Yeah, it sure has a lot of words.
And he's not being chased.
No,
He still has a sense of taste.
He does. Yeah.
Carry on.
So he wakes up, doesn't remember anything. He was put in a medically induced coma. Yes.
Medically induced coma. So a coma is when you go to sleep for a long time.
Yeah.
So if she punched me in the head really hard because I keep rhyming all the time, I might fall asleep for a very, very long time. That's called a coma. Now, medically induced means when a doctor puts you in a coma intentionally. So they put you to sleep for a long time intentionally, as you were.
Yeah. And they did that so he wouldn't be awake for the trip because it was probably a 7-year trip and just sitting in the spaceship for such a long time without really hard to entertain yourself. So they just thought it would be easier if we just put him to sleep for the trip. I don't want to say what threat he's trying to save the world from, but it's not like your traditional green men in space kind of aliens type thing. It's definitely not very action or your classic kind of space story. It's very scientific. There's a lot of biology, physics involved, and I think the author, his name is Andy Weir. He's very famous for having a lot of science in his books. He also wrote The Martian, which I think became a movie, and that was pretty popular in America because it just had a lot of science. And honestly, I really appreciate that because I'm a big fan of biology. That's a subject I really enjoyed in school.
Who isn't a big fan of biology?
So, yeah, but it was a very good book. My friends.
Hail Mary.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Huh?
You were saying your friend?
Oh yeah, my friends really enjoyed the book too. They were like, "Oh, it's really interesting," and the other characters that appeared. Yeah, it was a really good book all around. I think they'll probably turn it into a movie soon. I'm not exactly sure when, but
you've heard rumors about that?
Yeah, I mean, if you look it up online, they were saying "Oh yeah, we're probably gonna make a movie out of this." I mean, because The Martian became a movie, so it makes sense that another one of his book.
Wasn't The Martian a comedy? I haven't
No, no, it wasn't at all.
It wasn't?
No,
Okay.
it's about The Martian is about a man. Well, there was a
potatoes.
yeah, but that wasn't really. It was kind of funny, and there is comedy in this book too, which is I think that's just the author's style, and that does make the book very fun to read. But I mean, it was mostly about a guy who got stranded on Mars, basically, and he had to survive by farming, and he did that by farming not tomatoes, potatoes, but a big part of the conflict was trying to take him home from Mars, and yeah, so I wouldn't say it's really a comedy, but it's definitely like not like super action. It had some comedy, and that was really nice.
That's cool. So would you say this is your favorite book?
Currently, yes. Yeah, honestly.
You heard it here first. Her favorite book.
Yeah.
Is Project Hail Mary.
Yeah.
That's some breaking news.
Yeah, it was a really good book.
When did you first read this book?
I read it, I think, last year.
That was the first time.
That was the first time. I think my friend talked about it once, and I think also my dad. He's a fan of The Martian. I've heard about Andy Weir from him. And my friend also, another friend of mine, this is not one of my book club friends. They hadn't read this book before. This is a different friend. They talked about how good the book was, and my dad borrowed it from the library. So I'm like, oh, could I try reading it then? So I read it. I finished it in like a day because I'm a pretty quick reader. I was reading it in biology class instead of studying like a normal person, I guess. I don't know. But my science teacher was like, oh yeah, that's a pretty good book. So.
Oh, so they condoned this.
I guess, yeah. I guess because like, it was just like I think some free time.
Okay.
So, at least I'm using it to read a good book.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Project Hail Mary is a good book.
Yeah, approved by science teachers in high school.
Approved by science teachers. And this is quite a big thing because she wasn't listening to the teacher, she was reading a book, and the science teacher still was, yeah, alright, yeah, fair enough, that's a good book.
I was listening.
As you were.
I promise. I take my studies seriously, I swear.
She took her studies seriously.
Yeah?
Yeah. So did I.
Yeah.
What are you laughing for?
Yeah,
I'm
joking.
That's really good. So that was the first month. What's the second month's book?
Well, that's right now. This is a book that one of my other friends recommended. It's called The Stolen Child, which is it's much deviation, but it's about a certain type of mythological creature. I think originating from maybe Ireland or England or like kind of like the Great Britain area. Is I think it's called a changeling. It's kind of like it's kind of mythology, but the whole concept of it is it's kind of scary. It's a kind of a creature of the fae, I think, which is like of the fairies, which is like they're kind of I think in kind of that area. It's not like like Tinkerbell, which is like nice. It's more like kind of a scary thing. Like I've heard about like if you give your name to the fae, they'll take your name or something. I've heard about that. In this one, a changeling takes your entire identity.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, you've got to be careful. When you go to Ireland and England, certain parts, there are lots of changelings. And they just take your identity.
Yeah.
And the police don't do anything about it. They take your credit cards as well.
Yeah.
Identity theft. Yeah.
I guess the idea is they pretty much take the entire identity of I think it's children it's easier, and then they pretend to be, and it's kind of like I guess they don't notice, but I guess something's off. In this case, it's told from the changeling's perspective. They came in and is now pretending to be the 7-year-old child and has taken over his whole life. Yeah. And then so the first chapter is about him. He's like, okay, I'm now pretending to be this boy, and now I get to be a human being again. Because I guess the idea is that originally he was a human being, just a human boy, and then he got his identity taken by a changeling. So by getting his identity taken, he became a changeling, and now like a century later he gets to be human again, and that's kind of the whole concept.
Whoa, dude, that
Yeah.
sounds nuts.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah. I mean, well, I think wasn't like a body snatcher like the guys that like dug up graves. I don't know. Maybe this is something different.
Well, I mean, this is about an alien story.
Oh,
Invasion
okay.
of
This is
the
an
Body
alien.
Snatchers. They
Yeah, it's like that.
basically burrow into your I think, I'm not sure. They burrow into your brain and then they basically become you.
Yeah.
Or more recently, it's like the TV show Peacemaker, where these little butterflies do something similar. Spoiler.
Yeah.
I can't actually say.
Yeah, it's like that. So first chapter about him. He's had to, like, okay, I have to be convincing to my new parents because I've heard about stories of my friends who did this, but then got found out, and all sorts of bad things happened. So first chapter is about him, but then the next chapter it switched to the child who was taken by the changeling, and now so this is the stolen child, literally. So
Yeah.
so now it's talking about his
100 years
perspective. Not 100 years later. This is like pretty recent. So this is the child's name is Henry. So we've got original Henry and we've got not Henry. So not Henry is now taken Henry's place. And changeling Henry, no wait, sorry. Yeah. And then original Henry is now in the woods. He's become a changeling, is now just living in the woods. So it's kind of every chapter it switches between the two perspectives, which is pretty interesting. So like chapter 3 is about not Henry, chapter 4 is about Henry, and then so it keeps switching between like not Henry's life in human civilization versus Henry's life in the woods, and how it's kind of like the two different kind of stories.
This sounds very complicated.
Yeah, I tried explaining this to my sister yesterday over dinner, and she was like,
What the hell are you talking
yeah, it's just like it's very confusing. So.
Right, so basically they switch positions.
Yeah, basically.
So basically the changeling takes Henry's identity, but Henry then becomes the changeling.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
But with a scary version.
Yeah.
And so Henry is a human child, but living in the body of a changeling.
Yeah.
The changeling
It's not quite exactly like that. It's more he still has a different identity. It's more the changeling took his identity.
So Henry's
but-
just some random bloke. Like,
Yeah.
Like Stephen Joshua or something.
Yeah, they kind of gave him a new name, which is, I guess kind of feels more like fantasy-ish rather than his just Henry. Like I think,
Eggabald.
no, they call
Mickleflist.
him Any Day because I think his last name is Day. So they were like, when they first heard his name, they're like, okay, we're gonna call you this now. Your old name's gone. You're now one of us. Because there's some other guys, and they're like other changelings, I guess. And apparently, it's like they each take turns.
This sounds well complicated.
Yeah, this is kind of complicated. I'm not done with the book, which is crazy because it's already November, but it seems all three of us in the book club are chronic procrastinators. Procrastinators.
So a procrastinator is someone who does something other than what they should do. So if you should study, but then you think, do you know what? First, let me make a cup of coffee. Yeah, I'll make a cup of coffee. I'm going to study afterwards. And then, all right, good. I've got my cup of coffee. I'm going to study. Yeah, but first, let me just clean the desk.
Yeah,
clean the desk. Yeah, fine. I'm going to study. Desk is clean. Let me study now. You know what? I'm feeling hungry. Let me get some food. All right, full, good food. Time to study, baby. Yeah. Oh wait, I've got to wash the dishes. Got to do everything else except the thing you have to do. That's a procrastinator.
Yes.
I am a procrastinator. I used to be. And then I saw the light.
Are you going to elaborate?
No.
Okay.
That sounds very, very interesting.
Yeah.
But very, very complicated.
Yes.
And look, the name of the book is
The Stolen
The
Child.
Stolen Child.
Yeah.
So 2 books there, The Stolen Child and Project Hail Mary. Check them out if you have time, especially Project Hail Mary.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. It's the best book ever written.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Ali, thank you very much. and we'll probably see you in another 2 minutes.
Okay.
And let us know, do you have a favorite book? Do you read? Can you read?
Do you have any interest in reading?
Do you have any interest in reading? Do you read things? Yeah, okay, yeah, do you read? Let us know what your favorite book is. And if you want to come down, talk about books and talk about stories, explaining how to talk about stories and all of that stuff, or if you want to just learn English, grammar, and stuff like that, come on down. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel, and I will see you in the next video.
Alright. Okay.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Alright.
Alright.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Nice.
Yay.